Do Norse practitioners pray to the gods? Well, if you're interested in knowing whether we do or we don't, carry on watching. Hi guys, welcome to this week's video, and it's going to be on a subject which is quite controversial to many people, and that is about whether Nordic practitioners, heathens, pray to their gods. And I have to tell you, yes, we do. Yes, we really do. Now, a lot of people out there think that we as heathens put ourselves on the same pedestal as the gods, that maybe we pray in a different way to the Christians or whatever other religions that are out there, and that is possibly true, but it's still done in a nice way, in a very humble way, in a position of, hey, I know you've been around a lot longer than me. You have powers that maybe I don't. And that maybe, just maybe, if I come to you in a certain way, I might receive benefits whilst living on this lovely place called Midgard. So how do we go about it? Well, before we get into that, I'd just like to say thank you to new subscribers. Thank you to those that are always here. Thanks for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it, guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about it and press that button. Thank you in advance. So getting back to what I'm talking about. Well, when we pray, it's slightly different to the way maybe Christians do. Do we bow? Do we get on our knees? Do we stand? What do we do? Well, to anybody leaving Christianity, it's something they want to get rid of. They don't think it's part of any form of paganism or heathenism, but it is, because you're talking to the gods, and give it any label you want, it's still a prayer, and you can label it with a different name to make you feel better, but at the end of the day, it is praying. Now, I don't kneel when I pray. I like to walk around. I like to be in a comfortable place in my mind and my body and my spirit. Have you got a reason to pray, or is it just gratitude? When you're first starting out, you need to write it down and get it in your mind what it is you're actually trying to do, because a lot of people just talk as if they're talking to a friend. And yes, you can do that, but prayer itself is a very special moment. It's something, a place and a time where you're giving extra. It's something that you've contemplated. It's something that's deep within you that you want to get dealt with, and as such, it's special. It's not just talking to the gods. We can do that daily. So how do you go about it? Well, have you got something that you really want to go to a specific god or goddess? For example, you're going to, say, let's see, Freya, which is obviously someone that I go to a lot. But even though I'm on an even keel with her, I still give her a special time. And so how do you go about it? Well, A, you've got to know what it is that you want, or what it is that you're seeking her on. And B, you have to call out to her in an invocation. Now, invoking the god or goddess is very important. It's like when you send a letter to someone. If you don't put an address on it, it's not going to get there, and they're not going to hear you, or they're not going to be able to read it. And so anything that's going to help you to connect to that particular goddess is a must. And so I always use, again, my runes. For example, you find a rune on either the situation you're in or her rune. So I would use my Fehu rune and I pin it underneath this, believe it or not, guys, so that it's on my third eye and I'm conscious of that energy. When you've done that, you are then thinking Freya. So when you call upon the goddess or the god, whoever it is you're going for, okay, you're going to incite the things that draw you to them, the points of them, who they are, how you perceive them, how they are to you. So obviously you're going to think Freya, goddess of love and joy, goddess of war and death, goddess of power and fertility, goddess of the Valkyries. And you go on like that, listing the things that draw you to her. Then you could say personal things like, your beauty astounds mankind and women and children as you walk amongst the beautiful animals, and they look at you with awe. Your fantastic Brazilian glowing around your neck, the tears of sadness that portray your deep love for your husband, Ode, your fight and your get up and go. And these things are personal, so you pick the things that really mean it to you, guys. And then as you call that, you will start to feel the presence coming. And as that happens, that's when you need to then say the reason why you want to come to her, the petition, whatever it is that you want to get sorted. So it could be that you have a problem that you need help or strength in. You are going to her with a hope that she might clear the way for you in some way. So you are petitioning, you are explaining what it is. Now, when you are doing that, do not dwell on it. Do not keep going over it, because at the end of the day, they don't need to be completely overwhelmed with everything. So you take the points of the situation, and they're very matter of fact, and you say, I am going through such, or this person needs such. And that's when you go on to the next part, which is the seeking a sign that they have heard you. And at that point, you then tell them how you would like to give to them in a response to them responding to you. Now, this can take as long as you want, guys, or as short as you want. The rune is going to help you to link through that portal to that energy that you are calling on. And so if it's one deity, that's great. But if you've got more that you're talking to, more than one, then you need the rune that's going to be for that one. So for example, so if it was Tira, you would have Tiwas, and you would stick that one next to it. You want them near your third eye, because that is the way we shift. And you do need to be able to shift. It's still a magical act, because you are trying to connect with another realm which is higher, where the gods are walking. And so with Freya, even though she does travel around, you're going to find her in that place. And so you need to be able to shift. And part of shifting in the prayer means you're lifting yourself to a different state of mind. Even in Christianity, when they pray, they're on their knees, their arms are clasped, their thought and everything is put into it. It comes from the heart and the soul. And that's what we're trying to connect with. Even though we are heathen or pagan, we're not ignoring the fact that mankind needs to be able to share, to show its vulnerability, to show that they need to be guided in some way, to have maybe just an inkling that something's going to help them. You know, for example, if it was scurvy, you might be going through treacherous weather and on a mountain instead, which could hurt you. So you need to remind her that she is the goddess of the animals on that, and the goddess of all that's going on there, and that she needs to keep all safe because they're under her jurisdiction, which then encompasses your safety. So you have to talk to each god or goddess in the way that they understand. So you have to know who it is that you are calling on first, and then know what they will actually listen to. They're not going to listen to people going on about rubbish. So then the next step, you need to be letting them know what you can do for them. And that could include offerings, an offering to them. So find out what they like. Make sure you've given the best you can. And then offer that you will do certain things for the community, or just what comes into your heart, guys. At the end of the day, prayer is very special, and it is a close bond between the gods and yourself. And whatever it is spoken, whatever is taken, will be between you and them. And so if you're doing it on behalf of somebody else, make sure that they will be prepared for an outcome, for healings and things like that. And then once you get through that, that is when you have to basically thank them. Even though you've not had anything to show that they've heard you, you need to thank them from the bottom of your heart. Now, when I go deep into prayer, I also like to travel. I like to visualize myself meeting them in a different place. So in some ways, I'm not just saying the words, I'm actually going somewhere, and that helps you to achieve a higher level, and your mind shifts and it's easier to connect, and you can be in prayer for a long time because you are in a different state. And trance-like sometimes it's not as strong as trance, but other times it is. And of course, if you do go into that, you need to be able to bring yourself back. And by bringing yourself back, it means to have keys in place, to have safeguards in place. You are entering the world of the gods. I like to try and stand on the rainbow bridge and stand there waiting for that god or goddess to be called as I'm invoking. Hopefully they will hear and then come across the bridge to meet me. You can have some wonderful experiences whilst doing that. And again, you see the runes open up these portals that allow you to go there. And if you are calling on them for a set reason, they might be bullshit with you. They might not be interested. But it's what you can give them to keep on an even keel and keep you really strong, and give your case to them, because you're not saying to them, come help me. You're saying, I need advice. And you are the gods, and you know because you made us. You breathed life into us, Odin. Please aid us in the ways that you feel that you can. And I will give you this, or I will give you that. Aid us on Midgard. Send your protectors. Send Thor. And so it goes. You see, prayer is slightly different for the heathen. It's about a contract almost. Whereas if you're a Christian, it's about aid me. Oh my God, aid me, aid me. It's never about what I can do for you. It's about what you can do for me. Nothing against that, because it's a different faith. But we are committed to being on our life path. And the gods are not there to pick us up. They're there to teach us lessons, to show us paths, and to tell us if we need to know anything. But we can still go to them with a petition. We can still invoke them. We can still give them offerings, and we can still be there, hoping that they might, just might, make our day a little bit better. Now, this is a quick one, guys. Again, I wanted to talk about praying, but also about how the runes help in prayer and how you can hold them and feel their energies whilst doing this. Now, as heathens, we don't go like that. We could be walking around, we could be cuddling ourselves, we could be holding things, we could be sitting down, we could be praying in all different areas, sitting in a bath. There is nothing wrong with doing that. I've known people pray in the toilet. Wherever you can shift and wherever you can give that time is all you need. So there I'm going to leave it, guys. It was just a quick one on prayer. I just thought it came into my mind, and I thought, you know, a lot of people don't know about heathens praying. They don't think that heathens pray, and they do. And again, the runes can be brought in. You could write a petition to the gods in prayer. As you are praying, you could be writing those runes, and just that power of the rune within can help for you to connect so strongly with that god or goddess that you are seeking. And how much more do you need? It is the most wonderful feeling to be able to connect. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're very important to the earth. You are light workers, you are witches, and you are loved. I'm going to leave it now, guys, so I hope you're all well. Wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of Elaine.